Oh yeah, no, this stuff's totally sustainable. No worry, no, we're not in the bubble at all. Relax, right? Fuck it. This is in reference to everyone. This is in reference to it's an article of the Financial Post today. Mortgage and real estate. Toronto's $1 million house contagion has now officially spread to the suburbs. Yeah, isn't that right? But no, there's no housing bubble. Wait till you hear that the fact that it's increased by 28% in the month of February. I mean, 28%, right? That's not a bubble, right? Everybody's incomes is increased by what, 35%? So there's no bubble. 28% is not bad when you. Wait a minute. Nobody's fucking, well, no regular Canadian, that's for fucking sure, has had their income bumped by even remotely close to 28%. For fuck's sake. So can we stop playing games here, right? I mean, in the world of central planning that we live in, right? You know, the growth of Canada, the GDP, all this, it's all based on speculative, false, fake wealth. Sorry, you might think that that fucking house that you just bought, that was at one point in time only worth, you know, maybe $100,000, is now worth $1 million? What, 20 years later? Oh, did somebody line it with gold? Really? Oh, wait a minute. Look at the income for Canadians, average Canadians for the last 40 years even, and it's stagnated. So basically the same, go back 40 years, almost my entire lifetime, wages have basically stagnated, yet housing prices increased by, if it's 20-some% in just 1 year, think about it, right? But no, you hear some of the fucking idiots, right, especially commenters or people that work for real estate, oh, there's no bubble, okay. Well, there's a lot of people that are listening to your fucking dumbasses and putting themselves into some very precarious situation, which I personally could care less. I mean, if you're stupid enough to pay that kind of money for these fucking houses, I mean, that's your own stupidity. The problem is, though, is I have to be forced to fucking bail you dumbasses out. This is the problem that I have, right? It's not that I give a shit. Listen, I would never pay these ridiculous prices for these houses. I'm smart enough that I will go anywhere in the country and I can function in many different places. I don't have to, I don't work for government shit, right? I'm actually a productive member of society, so my skills are transferable everywhere in this country. So I can move around, I can adapt to all this bullshit. The problem is, no matter how smart, no matter how wise I am, no matter how many things I do to protect myself from this bullshit and to never place myself in these situations because of the fact that with CMHC, with the housing, the way it works in Canada is if there is an economic crash, which is it's going to happen eventually, and those you that suggest it won't, it's coming. I can't say when, nobody can say when, but it's a coming. But the fact that whether it's through bailouts or stealing from my incomes or print money to bail them out, I am still ultimately being held responsible, even though I am not putting myself in that precarious situation. I've avoided it completely. I still have my old house back in New Brunswick that's 100 years old. I could buy a fucking new house today in Toronto or the GTA. I'm not that stupid, and I won't. I hate the fact that I have to fucking pay rent and all this shit. But, hey, listen, I'm not stupid enough to put myself indebted for 25, 30, or up to 40 years paying retardedly overvalued prices for a fucking house just so I can say I have a house in Toronto or the GTA area. But, like I said, even no matter how prudent I am, this is how fucked things are. No matter how prudent, no matter how wise, no matter how smart I am, and how much I avoid all that shit completely, I'm still ultimately on the hook for those that do fucking make those stupid decisions, those stupid mistakes. Why? Where is that fair in any way or any stage, right? How is that fair to force the people that, even with savers and interest rates, the people that want to save, that are prudent financially and economically, much more astute than the rest of you, a lot of the fucking dumbasses in this country, why the fuck should we be forced to pay for your dumbass mistakes? Tell me where that makes any fucking sense at all. Sorry for all the swearing, but this is a topic that really gripes my ass because there's absolutely no need for it. There's lots of crazy fucking dumbass shit that governments do that I'm totally against. But this is at the top of the heap. Well, one of the at the top of the heap of the pile. It's just one of them, but it's at the top of the heap of the pile of being forced to bail that will be forced to bail these fucking dumbasses out. And that's the thing. If there was no pretense of being able to force taxpayers to pay them, these banks, these real estate fuckers, these people that are speculating and buying up and flipping, none of them would be able to do, and their incentives would be greatly reduced to try to play this game if it wasn't for the fact they knew that there's a safety net waiting to protect them no matter what fucking malinvestments, no matter bad deeds, no matter how much deception, deceit, or speculation or manipulation in the housing market. No matter what they do, they know there's going to be a safety net that will protect them. You don't help anybody, and you actually hurt the people that aren't like that when you create these kinds of scenarios. But anyways, let me read into the article. Sorry, I'm going to bring it down a notch here, but yeah, pisses me off. The continued demand for detached homes. I'm not going to read a whole lot of it. Across the greater Toronto area, drove average existing prices across the city up almost 28% in February, pushing the price of a suburban house beyond $1 million for the first time. $1 million fucking dollars. You don't even live in the core, for fuck's sakes. Really though? Oh, Jesus. The average sale price for all categories of housing in the region was $875,983 last month, up from $685,733 or $38 a year ago. In the detached category, overall average prices climbed 32.5% from a year ago to $1,205,815, while in the city of Toronto, the average detached home is now selling for $1.572 million. Holy fuck. Meanwhile, in the suburbs, which covers the 905 area code, the average detached home price soared 35% to $1.11 million from last February. The fastest growth of any housing type in the greater Toronto area. And we all know, like I said, I'll post a link to this article in the description of the video, but we all know where this is coming from. Central planners and the economic policy and the monetary policy is all about rewarding bad behavior, malinvestments, false demand, speculation, like all the bad things that you could ever think of, and hurting and hindering and destroying the people that don't do any of that stupid shit. Like I say, how much longer can this continue? I don't know. I can't say. But the end is coming and the end is nigh. If you want to, I'll make a fucking wager for any of you that want to make that bet against me. Like I say, I won't give a timeline, but I'll guarantee it will happen. Actually, I will at least say, just to make sure I covered my ass completely, if I was going to make a wager, right? 10 years, although I don't even think it could ever make it out that long. But I'll give you 10 years. But who would even want to fucking function with 10 years? Think of how bad things could. I don't even think, like I said. But I'm somewhat conservative in that I would play a safe bet. I'm not a gambler, right? So I would prefer a safe bet. But yeah, the housing market is not sustainable in this fucking country, and especially in some of the greater or the GTA or some of the major urban centers in this country. And you're completely fucking up. I mean, it's not even just the housing cost, but you're preventing these young millennial people from even being able to start their families, to enter into the amount of devastation and destruction, the long-term consequences and ramifications for all this central planning and all this bullshit. Oh, it's all going to come back. The chick's going to come home to roost at some stage. You know that. Mark my words. Skinny Libertarian. I love liberty.